This
So
conference will
I
now be
just
recorded.
Shigesh, I just joined because I was trying to log into the previous yesterday's link. So how long you started this one?
No,
Can I?
no, just 10 minutes only.
Okay, so if you can refresh it now, because for the recording purpose, if you can, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this one I already explained this thing in my first or second class. Sorry, sudo. So this thing very well. So where this name node and data node files are located. So basically, okay. So we have to go to the HDFS, then configuration, and whatever the configuration, we have a lot of filter option available. Just search name node. So the name node directory is /dfs/nn. Okay. See there. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. So this file, if you go to the current, so you can see a lot of files are here. So these are all some files. Okay, start with edit and some file start with the fs image. So we cannot manually read these files. Okay. So we have fs image and edit file. So fs image is nothing but okay. So like consider this is our name node. Okay. So name node has something in RAM. Like I said, so HDFS or name node will store all the metadata information in its memory or RAM, somewhere in the memory. So why it's using memories? To get better performance. Because if you use the hard disk for reading each and every time, so it will be slow. So for that purpose, see this name node will store complete metadata information in memory. The problem is, so when we stop this machine or if we shut down this machine, so this thing will flash away. The next time in the memory will not be having this value. So for that purpose, what Hadoop has designed in such a way that so it will take this image into a file called fs image. Okay. So this process, taking the snapshot of this in-memory image into a file called checkpoint. Okay, just reiterating the things that we have discussed earlier. So checkpointing is the operation so that will take the backup. We can say just in-memory image, whatever the memory available things in memory into a file called fs image. So this fs image will be located under this location. Okay, so /dfs and then current. So you might be wondering from where we got. So hdfs configuration name node and dfs name directory will have that. So I have got, you can see a lot of fs image and a lot of edit files are there. So this is all created different timestamp. Okay, so this is the latest and this is the latest fs image. Okay, so it will be taking fs image periodically and that time period is controlled by fs image some checkpoint interval. Okay, let me clear all the filter and search here with checkpoint. So the checkpoint will happen every 1 million transaction or every 1 hour. Okay, so for every 1 hour, whatever the value available in memory will be saved into a file, or every 1 million transaction that happens in HDFS. So this is the threshold value. Again, these two are configurable parameter. We can change that. And that is about fs image. So fs image is nothing but a binary file. So we cannot read. Whatever the things available in memory will be taken into this file. And okay, so the way it take the backup. Okay, so maybe at 10 a.m. So we have a FS image 1, right? So we know the next thing will taken at 11 a.m. or 1 million transaction, whichever happens at the first. At that time only the next image will be taken. So in between there will be lot of operation happens. So between this 1 hour. So we need this value also, because whatever the things happens in this time will be recorded into name node in memory, but it will not be updated anywhere or saved in anywhere in the file. So for that purpose, so we have another file called edits. So edits will record all the operations that we do on this HDFS. So I mean any file system creation or file creation, deletion, directory creation, everything, whatever the metadata changes that happen will be recorded into this file. So we will have a FS image and a latest edit file. So with that, we would be able to reconstruct this image. So that is how the recovery happens. So in our case, the secondary name node will helps to do this operation. I will just reiterate the thing, how to do that here. Okay. So you know this FS image, what is FS image and what is edit. So FS image is nothing but the file system. So we call it as in memory that we have taken into a file. So we can manually do that. Save namespace, I think we already did that. And it will be doing automatically for every 1 hour or every 1 million transaction. So this is the file. So edit and FS image. So edit will record whatever the edits happen. So if any changes happen, that will be recorded at the same time. So whenever this checkpoint happens, so that time it make use of the secondary name node and do that checkpoint to get the latest and up to date FS image. Okay. See, I have something here. I have taken the FS image at 10 a.m. Right. After that, I will be doing lot of operation, and then my metadata is changed, but my file is contained the state at 10 o'clock. So, but I need this thing also recorded somewhere. Okay, so that is recorded in this edit file. So now we will check for any questions. The edit log will be stored into this location. Okay, so whenever this operation happens, operation in the sense any name node changes, like we create a file or we delete a file, we change the permission or any namespace changes happen, that will be recorded into this edit file. So definitely this memory metadata also will be get updated, because that is a process that happened. So along with that memory change, so it will write into this file as well. Okay, so that is how this. Yeah,
Yes.
I'll go with that checkpoint again.
Yeah. Regarding edits only, I have a doubt.
Okay, tell me.
For every transaction, it will be updated edits automatically, or it
Yeah,
will wait for 1 hour.
no. The 1 hour means it take the next FS image. So edit is something similar to redo log. So I think redo log in Oracle, right?
Okay, each and every transaction will be written into edits automatically, right?
Yes, edit is exactly similar to redo log file. I think you're from Oracle DB background, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
But
yeah, the
see,
same.
my concept. See, Oracle Redulog is a different story. Like whatever the information will, whatever the transaction happen, that transaction will be stored in the online Redulogs. Later, it will be archived into archiving.
Archive, yes, correct.
Yeah.
The same redo log and archive redo log is there. So same redo log
We should not
function.
compare the Redulog. Redulog means online Redulog. That stores in the memory only. It will not go directly into archive file like. But here you are saying that edits is on the disk. For every transaction, it goes to disk, right? In edits.
Yes, 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 yes.
For
It
every
will
transaction,
return. It will return into this file.
okay. Parallelly, I mean, for every 1 hour, the transactions from the RAM to FS image is the one process. For each and every transaction is updating in the edits is another process. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
Now, can I say something? So I think there are two things. There are two threshold. It's not only 1 hour. Here are two threshold. Either it reaches the limit of the transactions, or
Or
it touches the
yeah.
number of minutes or whatever you define, the threshold.
Yeah.
If you compare with the Oracle point of view, then edit is the same as redo log file, and archive is same as, I think, other file, FS image.
But yeah, I think I was also just confused. Like I thought Redolog basically files are written, but he's saying Redolog there is no file like that, so it is
No,
in
there's
memory
file.
process.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
that's not true. Redo log is a file, right? You create the file. So whatever
mm,
goes in SGA, that gets
mm,
dumped into redo log file. So whatever changes you make into the blocks of the data, that gets
mm,
written to redo log. When you commit, or when it keeps going over and over, right?
mm,
Then it
mm.
gets committed into archive log.
Oh, okay, okay. So then that is correct. Then we can exactly
So
similar to Redolog.
redo is same as edit, and
Yes.
archive is same as FS image.
Yes, we can say, but this is okay. This archiving, I will show you that. Okay, so this is clear, right? See, the reason is I'll just reiterate the thing if it's confused. Okay, so say for example, we have this consider this is the name node, okay, and this is just a logical representation. It's memory or RAM. So we have the metadata here. So metadata can be anything because we have a lot of data nodes here, and we have a lot of data in HDFS. So people will create that file. So everything like ownership, the file system structure, where these are located. So all these things are called metadata. So that is stored in memory. So the reason why it's stored in memory is for getting better performance. But we have advantage here like performance, but the problem is if we turn off this machine, the memory will flash. I mean, the next time if you turn it off and turn it on, so this won't be there. So for that, we need a backup strategy. I mean, whatever the things here, so we need to backup into a file. So for that, we have one option is whatever the things available in this memory. Okay, so this is not the disk. So we can say it's a RAM or memory. So that will be dumped into a file called fs image. Okay, so fs image, we cannot update fs image periodically because if it's doing so, again, it may affect the performance and all. So fs image, we will take periodically, maybe every 1 hour or every 1 million transaction, whichever comes first or manually triggered. So these three cases, new fs image will get created. Okay, fs image is same as whatever this in-memory image that is taken into a file, and that is called fs image. So by default, every 1 hour or every 1 million transaction, that is the threshold. But consider the case I have uh, at 10 a.m. So I have one fs image taken, right? So this is my fs image taken at 10 a.m. But the next fs image will be taking at 11 a.m. only, or 1 million, whatever the things happen. But in between this time period, there will be a lot of transaction happen and lot of changes happen to the system. I mean, so whenever you create that, okay, at 10 a.m. you have taken this FS1. After that, you create one file. So that will be recorded in your memory. Okay, in memory, so definitely will get updated. So you delete a file, you create a file, you add something, change the permission, or uh, adding a block, or whatever the transaction happen, or HDFS transaction happen. permission change or anything, that will be updated at the same time in the in memory. But we don't have that this memory image updated here, but we just have the file which is taken at 10 a.m. So in between this transaction happens, say for example, I just change the permission. So that will be recorded into a file. In between this, whatever the operation happened, so we have a file called edits. Okay. So whatever the transaction happens, so that first updated into this one, and it will update the edit file also. Then the next time, so when it going to create an FS image, it make use of this edit and FS image and construct a latest updated FS image. So that process is called checkpoint. Okay. So checkpoint, I will show you in detail how it works. But before moving that, I just wanted to uh, make sure so you understand this concept. So FS image is nothing but in-memory image that we have taken into a file. So most cases, like it will do in an automated way, but sometimes we manually trigger and save that. And in between, whatever the transaction happens, so that will be recorded into the file edit. So say for example, at 10:55, something happened to the system. Okay, so I have this edit FS image taken at 10 a.m. and whatever the transaction happened after that, I have that in this edit. So if I just combine these two, so whatever the things in FS image that will load, and then whatever the things I have in edit, I will append or update that into that. I will get whatever the memory or in memory image at 10:55. So this is how we do in the recovery or whenever the service startup. Okay, so whenever the service startup, so it will take the latest FS image and update that edit. So okay, so any questions here? So now, okay. So is this clear? You can confirm that in the chat or whatever. I think people who are not talking can confirm, or you can just say yes or no.
Yes.
What is FS image and what is edit file is clear to you?
Yes, and that is what you covered since morning, correct?
Yeah. Okay. So next we will go to this checkpoint operation. Yeah.
I've got something related to that one. So just let me just clear my thoughts. So you have got secondary name node, right? So
Mm.
secondary name node is basically you cannot set example if name node goes down, you cannot simply secondary name node cannot carry on those responsibilities and running the cluster without any problems.
Yeah. We can get, but it's not a easy one. I'll tell you that. Okay. So for that we have another option called high availability.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But yeah,
Let's leave that for timing. Okay. So
yeah.
what I was thinking, I'm going back to Hadoop one.
Mm,
This is Hadoop two we are talking about. Hadoop
yeah.
one, if I remember correctly, what people used to do, they used to map, the file systems where we have got edit and FS image. They used to create a duplicate file system. Remember, the file system is mounted from other node.
Yes. It's
So
NFS and all. Yeah.
NFS, yeah, absolutely. NFS mount. So effectively, secondary name node is doing something similar, isn't it? Isn't it?
Correct. And
Right.
also it helps to do the checkpoint because without the secondary name node,
Yeah.
okay. See, just for a backup folder, then we have multiple options like NFS and all, right?
Yeah.
So for storing this file, if you just need to store this directory, so we have a lot of backup options available. But along with that, okay, so definitely we will have this file in that host, but along with this, so secondary name node has additional responsibility. So that is, it will help to do the checkpoint. And before moving to this, okay, so how it helps, so we will see that. So we have the name node, we have secondary name node. So the default configuration is name node and secondary name node. So if you go to our HDFS, you can see the name node and the secondary name node. And the main role is to help the primary in doing checkpoint. I will show you how that happens. Say, for example, 10 a.m. Okay, so consider the same case. So I have a FS image. Then I'm just writing this as FS image as FS10. And when it reach, okay, so it will have that whatever the logs written. Okay, so I'm just writing as edit 10. Okay, so I have this FS image, FS10, which is taken at 10 a.m. and whatever the transaction posed to that, I have it in a file called edits10. Okay, so the next at 11 o'clock, I need to have a latest FS image created. So how to do that? So that process is called checkpoint. So how to do that is this secondary name node pull this, I mean the request for these two files, FS image and edit. Okay, I think FS image already will be there. So I'm just writing it in a logical way. So it will have a FS10. Okay, and it request for this latest edit file. Okay, then it will what name node will do. So name node will start writing into a new edits. Okay, edit 11. So it will stop writing here and it will send that files to secondary name node. So we have edits 10. By that time, okay, so whatever the transaction happen after that, it will be written into new edit file. So not into edit 10. So that is the reason you can see we have a lot of edits with the different version numbers. See, whenever we do a manual checkpoint also, that time also, the existing edit file will be moved or copied to the secondary name node. So now, okay, so here whatever the transaction happen after that will be written into a new file, new edit file. But here we have a FS image and whatever the edit. So if you combine these two, so that will have the latest namespace, right? So what the secondary do is secondary load this into its memory. Whatever the FS image that load into memory, then on that memory it will apply this edit so that it will get an updated FS image, I mean updated in memory metadata. Then what it do, it take or I mean so save that into another FS image file, so that we call as FS11. Okay, so it copy back that FS11 to here also. So FS11 means then edit whatever the new transaction. So this process will repeat. So it's nothing like, so we have a later, I mean whatever the last taken FS image and edit will be there. So from the secondary side, so the edit FS image will be loaded into its memory, then apply that edit and generate that FS image and pass that FS image to here. So this process is called checkpoint. So checkpoint is nothing but like, so we have an last taken FS image file plus that edit file, apply that and then save into this file. So it will keep taking the latest FS image every 1 hour. So this process is called secondary name node. So the reason, again, most of the people ask, okay, so you have a primary name node and you don't have a high availability, you have a secondary name node. But why you need a secondary name node with the same memory configuration as primary? So the reason is whatever the memory thing like FS image plus edit, so that it has to load into the memory for creating a new FS image. So basically you can say for checkpoint operation, what it do, it will load that FS image and apply that edit on to that memory to get the latest and updated fs image. So this operation requires the same memory configuration for primary and secondary node, secondary name node. So main intention of secondary name node is doing this operation. So this process is called checkpoint. So this is mainly available in Hadoop version 1. Okay, but Hadoop version 2 provides another feature called high availability. And again, so whenever do this checkpoint, definitely you can see these files are here, like edit and fs image, all these files are copied to here. So we can copy this file for recovery also. But the reason is we cannot say, I mean, we can say it won't automatically come into active state or take the role of the main name node. So it take a lot of manual effort to reconstruct the name node. So this is mainly, we can say, single point of failure in this Hadoop version 1. So any questions here?
So in secondary name node, will secondary name node will pull it, edit or fs image, or name node master will push it?
I think it will request first and then it will push. So I'm not, I mean, I can say this is just a logical way
That's
of
fine.
representing. But ultimately it will get that file. So that protocol thing, again, I need to refer how this exact work. But
Yeah, that's fine.
basically, if I'm not wrong, I think secondary name node will request for that first, and then it send that to uh, a secondary name node. So if I go to the configuration, so if you go to, we can go to the configuration, and here we have option to filter it out and DFS SNN. So this is the secondary name node. So we can log into that secondary name node. I think the secondary name node, we have it in master 2 or whatever the host, you can confirm that. So go to the instances and see here. So this is on master 2. So I'll have to log into this master 2. Then SSH, use that key. And so we can just go to the configuration, and here secondary name node. So this is the directory. So dfs.checkpoint directory. So there is, so this directory will give you the some more idea. Okay. So if you go here, so you can see the similar directory structure that so the name node is having. So you can see lslrt. So the last updated is on now it's a 12:45. So 14, okay, so it last happened on February 2nd, because I have not kept this machine on for a long, so that is the reason it's not happening that checkpoint. Okay, but here you can see that edit 12:45, then fs image, so maybe 12:07, that is today only. So checkpoint here happened that this time. Okay, let's try to do a manual checkpoint and see whether what happened to these files. Okay. So for that, I think let me switch to see. I need a admin super user privilege. So for super user privilege, if you have that in a non-Kerberos or Kerberos, if the Kerberos is not enabled, you can switch to HDFS user and execute the admin commands. But if you have the Kerberos enabled, just use that HDFS key tab. So this key tab, you can get it from the directory /var run Cloudera SSCM agent process directory. So just to do that, klist-kt, so HDFS key tab. then use kinit -kt, then hdfs keytar, and use this one. So now if you type klist, you got the ticket granting ticket from this. So now hdfs dfs admin. So most of the admin commands are available. You can just use hdfs dfs admin. Then see, you can see basically it's a save namespace. So that command will do. But if you just use save namespace, it won't work because uh, it should be in read-only mode when we do this checkpoint. Okay, so you can see the safe mode should be turned on. So for turning on the safe mode, we can use the same set of command, safe mode. Then we have option enter, leave, get, and wait. So if you just use the get means it will just print that state. Okay, safe mode is off. Then if you want to enter, just use safe mode, enter. So that will turn on the safe mode so that your HDFS will be read-only mode. So you can do execute the commands like HDFS, DFS, ls / and all while will work. But if you try to write something, definitely it will fail. Say for example, if you just upload HDFS, DFS -put value.txt to /user. Wait, I mean, see, it's failing. Okay, so safe mode is a read-only mode. Then once safe mode is enabled, you can use the save namespace command. Okay, then I can just safe mode leave, just come out of the safe mode. So now if you just search, I don't know why. Okay, I think this save namespace is not triggering this checkpoint, but it's just a slash dfs ns cd current. Okay, so but here it just created new fs image file, so just 1 minute back. But I think we will have to change that threshold value and try. Okay, so save namespace is just saving it on the name node itself, not triggering that. So I'll have to just find out that command. Okay, manually. Okay, so I think we have to do this. So this will now run manual checkpoint. First stop secondary name node service. Okay, so this step also needed. So I'll have to stop the secondary name node service. So we will just I think Hadoop second. So only this one. So because sudo u HDFS means it's switching to HDFS user and doing. So we need not to do that. We can just directly do from here. I think I'll have to go back to this user and just make sure like I have the. I just stop the secondary name node and then manually executing this command. And now we will see. I think something wrong. Okay, so let me sort it out later. Okay, so main challenge is like so even though we are having that files here, so it will just do this check help to do this checkpoint in an automated way for every 1 million transaction or every 1 hour. But still we have certain challenges like whenever the name node goes down, so entire services will be unavailable. So we can convert that secondary name node to the name node with this little effort, but still that take a lot of time, and also there is a chance of data loss because definitely there will be an outage. So it's not a backup option or high availability option. So the purpose of secondary name node is just for helping to do the checkpoint. Okay. Now we will go to the high availability of name node. So before moving there, so any questions? Okay.
Sijesh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Only for checkpointing process, this secondary name node is available. For the same
Yes.
thing, going data over the network to secondary name node, the checkpointing is done. Again, the same data has to come to name node, primary name node over the network. The traffic time is more, right? Rather than doing this process, the same name node can do it, right?
No, the same name node can do. Okay, so that is a single node installation where we have everything in that single node. Okay,
Okay.
but
Only for the
that,
purpose of checkpointing, the secondary name node is there, or any other purpose is there?
no, just for doing this, I mean, helping to this checkpoint. So another purpose I told, right? So it has the files available. So FS image generated, so we can copy that and reconstruct to a
Generally,
working.
how much time will consume, like for doing this checkpointing process, like merging the data of edits and
See,
latest FS image?
it's all depends on the size of data. So if you have a very huge data, because technically if you just compare this, right? See, you have something, so AFS image, and in between you have a lot of write. See, just you have an edit file. So in your edit file, nothing is there. then it will do very fast. So a lot of things are there. Definitely, it has to apply that into
What
here.
has been
And
experiences in your organization? Like how much time it takes generally? Did you anytime we can observe if in interview if they ask me a question like how much time is taking for this checkpointing process every day, like during the
see,
intervals?
actually, it's just a background process. So even if it's not happening, so that won't affect the user, okay, or us. But you will get an alert, okay, so checkpoint is not happened for this time. So that time you have to take the action. Other than that, it's just a background process. So it's just for to the main challenge we will face if checkpoint is not happened is we will have a very huge edit file. So in that case, the startup of this HDFS will take a long time.
Where we will
So
get
I
the
mean,
alert?
so
Like if the checkpoint not
I think
happen.
yeah, I think I explained. I mean, sure that when the class start, so there is a canary error. So
Oh, okay,
that
can
is
I?
the reason. I
Okay,
think you joined bit late. So I just showed that like so initially you will get some
yeah,
error. So that the reason is like so it will be in the read only mode. So if that edit file is so huge, so till that edit file is get updated, so it take that time.
okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Next we will move to high availability. So we have a secondary name node, but it's a most confusing term. Like people may think, okay, it's completely alternate solution to name node, but it's not like that. So it just helps to do the checkpoint. Then what? Hadoop version 2 onwards, there is a feature called name node high availability. Okay. So name node high availability, we have an active name node and we have a standby name node. So active will be up and running and it will serve all the HDFS service. But the standby will be in the standby mode. But okay, so these are the two name nodes. And okay, say for example, we have this much n number of data nodes. Okay, and this is the active name node and this is the standby name node. Okay, and here if one is active and serving that request, one is in standby. But there will be a lot of things. If you worked in any high availability solution, there is a quorum, and because both should be in sync. So how to sync that? And also only one should be active, so other should be the standby. So if it goes down, then it should come active. So those things also we need. So we have certain tools that helps us to do this. One is Zookeeper failover controller. We call that Zookeeper failover controller. So we will have a Zookeeper failover controller, one instance running. So we have Zookeeper failover controller, another instance running here. Okay. So this is part of Zookeeper service. We can say the part of Zookeeper. Zookeeper is the service. We don't use this service directly, but it do a lot of coordination activities. So it's just a sub process from Zookeeper, and that name is Zookeeper failover controller. So that do this automated failover. Like okay, so if active goes down, then standby automatically come up and serve the request. So in interview and all, people will ask the question like, okay, so if your Zookeeper service is failed and you have a name node failure, then what will happen? Nothing will happen. So it active that will be in standby state for a long time. So you have to manually turn it into active state because this active to standby automated failover is controlled by or done by Zookeeper failover controller. So this is the part of Zookeeper service. So Zookeeper is very important. If that is done, then this automated switching won't happen. And it do okay. So I mean it monitor the health and based on that it do that decision. Second is journaling. Okay, journaling or we call it quorum. So journaling is something like see whatever the I mean the people or application do a lot of changes to HDFS. So that will be updated here, right? and also it will be in edit file, and we have FS image, but right, but this also should get updated, that values. Okay, so whatever the changes happen here will get updated to the standby name node also. So that is done with the help of journal nodes. So journal nodes will share this edit file in between. Okay, so we use a couple of journal nodes, and so only one will be writing that to, and the standby will be reading. Because both try to write, then definitely it will be a split brain scenario. You might heard that. So in a high availability solution, one will be writing that files here and another one will read. So these are called journal nodes. So we have to just recollect the terminology. So we have active name node, standby name node, Zookeeper failover controller, which is part of Zookeeper service, and journal node. So journal node is for shared edit. So we will see that, okay, so how these files looks like and how this perform in a demo. Okay, just remember we have this active standby. So if active goes down, the standby will come up. And also we can switch in between. So we can change this active to standby and standby to that we call failover or switchover. So this one which can change to active. So if active goes down, then the standby will become active. So if standby goes down, nothing will happen. And that is done with the help of Zookeeper failover controller, which is part of Zookeeper service. And we have journal nodes, so which is responsible for this shared edit. And also only one name node will write that into this journal nodes, and only the one will read. And also the data node. The data node will communicate to this name node as well as this name node also. Okay, so why the data node? So data node will send the block report and the other details. Okay, so block report and all will not have stored in permanently. So every time whenever the name node connects, this data node will communicate to this name node, and there will be a heartbeat mechanism, and also it send that block report to both node, so that everything, I mean, this should be ready for the operation in the next moment itself. I mean, if it's not having that block report, then it has to wait some time to get that report, then only start operating as an active one. So in order to avoid that, so the data node should know both name node, active and standby name node, and the block report and the heartbeat sync will happen with both name node, one active and one standby. So these three are important, journal node, active and standby. So now we will go to the and the next important thing is when you enable this HA, then what will happen to our secondary name node? Does this need it, or we can use it for some other purpose, or what will happen? So this will be removed automatically. So we no longer need this secondary name node. Then the next question is, who will help this checkpoint? So definitely the standby will help the checkpoint. Okay, so checkpoint will happen with the help of this standby node. So you need not have this secondary name node. So you can just, I mean, so no need to do it manually. So this installation and configuration wizard will take this away. So now we will go to the demo part. So go ahead and add this, enable this high availability. Just hit this,
Sajesh,
HDFS.
for every change from the name node will immediately writes into journal nodes, or is there any interval is there?
No, journal node immediately, like edit files.
Okay. Those three journal nodes will be, I mean, how many copies will write at a time in the journal nodes? At a time, parallelly it writes into three, or first machine only, like
Yeah, I'll come to that. Okay. So the journal node, I'll show you and explain that. So why it is, how these files looks and how this edit. So there is a majority rule involved, and the functionality of this journal node will work. So definitely we will choose 3 or more. I'll show you that. But before enabling this one, so we need to have the Zookeeper service installed. Okay. Because I'm not going much theory, because if I keep on uh, uh, teaching theory, so it will be boring for you. So let's just take a. So I'm just adding the Zookeeper. Okay. So adding any service is simple and straightforward. So just go to this here and add service. I'm just going to add Zookeeper. So you can see one. And Zookeeper, how many nodes we want to install Zookeeper? So this is also a tricky question. So always install it on 3 or more. Okay, 3 or more, that too odd numbers. So the reason is why we need 3 or more. So again, so that I'll come to that. So for the time being, I'm just choosing master 1 to 3 for Zookeeper. Sometimes people use a dedicated host for Zookeeper. So choosing the data directory and log directory as default. Just hit continue. So it will take a moment to do that. Okay, so Zookeeper, why we are choosing odd numbers? Okay, so normally we choose 3 or 5, 7, etc. So we can have a single Zookeeper also. The problem is if that Zookeeper goes down, then the service will be unavailable. Then why we are not using 2 Zookeeper or 4 Zookeeper or 6 number of Zookeeper? You can technically you can use, but there is no use. This is, we can say, you won't get the benefit. So there is a concept called majority rule. So majority rule in the sense, if we have something, okay, 1, 2, 3. If majority of these are up, okay. So out of 3, what is the majority? 2. So 2 is the majority number here. But if you take the case 1, 2, 3, and 4, here, what is the majority? 3. Okay. So that means majority rule means majority of services should be up and running to get the service. So that means if one of these goes down, still we have a 2. With the 2, we have the service available. So less than 2, definitely it will be a problem. So with the 3, with the 4, then what is the majority? 3. So we need always 3, minimum 3 service should be up and running to get this service up and running. So this is okay. But if what happened to this one? If this goes down, then less than the majority. So for 4, the majority is 3. So that means if you apply majority rule, you won't get the benefit from out of this. See this value, this value. But if you choose this odd number, so 3, 5, 7, 9, etc., you will get that benefit. So the comparison is if you choose 3 Zookeeper or 4 Zookeeper, the same effect. I mean, so you can handle the failure of only one service. Okay. So this entire thing, because if you just Zookeeper cluster, so this is just a clustered service, like so all these service will work together. So that is the majority rule. You may be thinking, unlike any other service, okay, see this goes, still we have these 2, or this goes, still we have 1. It's not like that. So there is a concept called majority rule, and in that, if majority of the sub services are up and running, then only you will get that service. So Zookeeper work in that way. So it's bundled together and work. Okay. So maybe what is the minimum number? Definitely it's a 3, but we can technically we can have with 1. That is not good practice. So 3 is the minimal best option. So 3, 5, 7, etc. Okay, so that is the reason we are using odd numbers and finish. So we just added zookeepers. Okay, so we don't use this service directly. We use this service along with the other services.
Dinesh,
Now go to
in real time, there are separate machines dedicated for Zookeeper general nodes, or existing master nodes only. They will keep the this thing like
that's
which
all
one is good?
depending on your I mean the budget. See, you can have that in this is also the real time case. So we can have the
But
same
network
thing.
throughput also matters here, right? If you keep the machines separately,
Hmm.
network bandwidth also every time it goes in the network and doing it, that's also matters, right? In your organization, what is it like?
No,
Separate.
see, my organization, we had the cluster with a single node. Okay, so they were doing POC on that, and the production with the separate Zookeeper server available. So the best
Okay,
practice is to have it in a separate one, definitely. I mean, the
okay,
managed server in a, but due to the budget constraint, they will do it in a, I mean, in a shared way. Like, so sometimes you can have only two master. So they will have the Cloudera manager as well as the name node in the same machine. So it's all best practice is do it in a separate machine.
okay,
But
okay.
but it's all budget constraint. So that way people choose maybe three management host and to do that. But best option is to have it in a separate one only. So, but technically we can, as I said, we can have everything in a single machine itself. But that is not a good practice if you look into availability and other factors. So better to have it in a different one. So from here, enabling a name node high availability, just to go to the HDFS I'm sorry, HDFS. So action, you can see enable high availability.
This availability only meant for HDFS related or even ARN also?
No, no, that is separate. Now we are discussing about HDFS,
Okay,
Hadoop Distributed File Systems case only.
okay.
Okay. So now if you just use HDFS, DFS hyphen DF hyphen H, so it will just get that HDFS file system. So this is the URL. So HDFS colon. So you can use HDFS, DFS, LS, this one. So if you are executing from any other machine, sorry, I need to use slash user, whatever the directory. Right. See, HDFS, DFS, LS. Then this is the host name, and this is the port, and this is the directory. So this will list all the directories under this one. What I'm saying is here we use this namespace name, this one, that is the name of the master one. But if you enable high availability, we should not use this name. Rather than we use a logical name. So that will be mapped to any one of this one, either master one or master two in case of high availability. So that is the name service name. So in this case, name service name, I'm just using name service one or name service H, whatever the name we can choose. Okay. So this name will be, we will be using this name like this. Okay, so in case like HDFS, DFS, LS, HDFS, colon, that, sorry, this name service H, then user. So this way we can use. If you use this, so we may not be knowing which name node we are using. So definitely it use the active at that time. So I can just use name service and then continue. And here, so we have option to choose the name node. Okay. So name node already one is selected. So that is the current one. Then choose the second one. So I'm just choosing the master 2 as second one. So journal host. So this is where we want our journal service. I'm just using master 1, master 2, master 3. Hit OK. Okay. So I just selected on which host I want to install my standby name node and what are my journal nodes. Go ahead and hit continue. So this is the name node directory, and journal node directory we have to add. We can edit here like a /dfs slash journal. So same value I will be adding here. So this directory will created on the journal node. Okay, so right now this file won't be there. So if you just choose this any host /dfs, so journal is not there, but I am going to create this one. So this wizard will create, and name node directory determine where the local file system will be. I can just use nn new or whatever. So I'm not using my old name, so I can just use name node. So this new, okay. So this is nothing like a directory that it's going to use later. So right now it's using /dfs_nn. I just change this name to something else. Okay. And on master1, master2, master3. So this is the journal location. And again, why we are using journal as 3 is, so journal node is just a service that will be run on this host. So that is also follow a majority rule. I mean, the majority of these services are okay, then only entire journal service will be available. Then go ahead and hit continue. So this wizard will take some time. Okay, stopping. Then credential to be generated. Okay.
Shivji, hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell
In
me.
the journal, active node will write metadata, right? Only active will write in the journal node, right?
Yes. Only the active one will write, because so this makes sure like only active one will write. So if both started writing, definitely. So that is like something like split brain scenario. So one will. So this is the journal directory. So active. This is active. This is standby. So active will keep writing this one. So this write will happen in this way or something, and this one just read that information.
So
So
only
whatever the name.
it is the edit log file, right?
Yes.
Journal node will store only edit log files, but FS image will be there
Correct.
with both the name nodes.
Yeah, FS image, name node, and also the standby also will have that, because the standby will helps to do the checkpoint. It will copy here and add that into its in memory, and then generate that the latest FS image that we want to. So whatever the
Like
secondary name node was doing,
mhm.
yeah, whatever the
So
secondary name node was doing, the same task the standby also do. Along with that, it is having a additional functionality for standby, so that automatically can convert into active one.
so this edit log will be stored in the hard disk, right? So where the checkpoint will happen? It is in the RAM or hard disk?
Where the checkpoint? I didn't get that.
I mean, uh, it will match the both the file, right? Edit log and FS image.
Hmm.
Where the process will happen?
A checkpoint.
Yes.
Checkpoint will happen in the same way that it happened to secondary name node. Okay, so this is taking that FS image file, and this is standby or secondary, that will load that into memory. Then it will take that edit file and save it some location and apply that into memory, and then generate the latest FS image.
Okay.
It's happening like it's storing the file sometime in hard disk, and then load that into memory, then applying that, and finally downloading that. That is what happened when we do the checkpoint. So the same checkpoint process will happen here also with the help of standby name node. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is saying So some sort of error message. So this is because we just choose /dfs, so which is already have the file. So that is the reason. Okay, that is not an issue. So I think yeah, this is almost completed except that warning. The following manual step must be enabled after completing enable. For each Hive service, stop the Hive service, backup Hive Metastore database to a percent update. Okay, so this we need to do manually. Just copy that and we will do that. Okay, so what we have to do is for each Hive service, stop the Hive service, backup the iMetastore database to persistence, or run the service command, update Hive Metastore, and then restart. That is fine. So now if you look into the instances here, see we have got standby and active name node, so 3 journal node and 2 failover controller. So this is the additional services. The failover controller, like I said, it's a part of Zookeeper and which helps to do the automated failover. So we have got 3 journal nodes and 2 this one. So whatever the post activity that we will do, what it is saying is, okay, I think I need to stop this Hive service. Okay, then so once Hive is stopped from the action, yeah, this one I need to execute. Upgrade Hive Metastore name nodes. Just hit that. So it's saying recommending to take the backup. So since it's our like completely testing kind of environment, I'm not concerned about this warning here.
But
Otherwise, you'll have to
how to take a backup? But otherwise, how to take a backup?
normal SQL. Okay, whatever the database you have. Okay, so you have taken that whatever the database you have opted. So that database backup commands you have to use. Say for Oracle has its own backup mechanism. MySQL and Postgres has its own different
Our case, MySQL is
data
the database, right?
DB. Yeah. So
Okay.
we'll have
So
to
what are the
take that.
commands we need to give the backup, like schema level backup or any statement level?
Whatever the thing, like we just need the entire database again for if that something happened or corrupted. Like any other application, okay, so you are a DBA, so like any other application that a lot of people are using that DB, so how to take the backup and restore it. The same way we need to do here, because the Cloudera manager is, or Hive, not only Cloudera manager, Hive is service is making use of that DB. So that DB you have to take the backup. So whatever the backup strategy, we have to use that. Only thing is whenever something happened wrong, so we should be able to reconstruct that DB. So now if I go to here, So if I execute the same command, df-h, I can see the earlier it was showing this way. Now this is showing this way. Actually, this is the logical name that we can use. So if you just use this logical name or hdfs, dfs, just ls slash, so it will list. So this is from the active name node. So I'm just taking a 5 minutes break. So I'll be right back. Okay, you can also take 7 minutes. I mean, few minutes break.
చెప్పే అమ్మాయి చేస్తుంది.
You are still not muted. We can hear you.
ఏం చేస్తుందా? ఆ పెద్ద పోతు ఏం చేస్తుంది? ఏం ఎగ్జామ్ ఉందమ్మా? అమ్మా ప్రియాంక కూడా చెప్తాదమ్మా యూనిక్స్. నీ ఎక్కడ పెట్టింది? వాళ్ళ నీ ఇష్టం. బ్రెడ్ తెచ్చాను, ఆమ్లెట్ వేసుకోవడం మర్చిపోయాను. బ్రెడ్ తెచ్చా, బ్రెడ్ ఆమ్లెట్ తిందాం అనుకున్నాను ఈరోజు. సో ఇది ఇప్పుడు పాలు వచ్చి వేడి చేస్తున్నాం. కార్న్ ఫ్లెక్స్ వేస్ట్. బ్రెడ్ తెచ్చిందే ఈ రోజు తినడానికి. ఇప్పుడు గుర్తొచ్చింది, బ్రెడ్ బయట పెట్టాలా?
Prasad, can you hear me? Well done. Hi, Sajeesh.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. So do we have everyone back? 1 second. Okay. So let's continue. So we were discussing about the high availability part. So if you go to HDFS and instances, you can see that journal node, then active and standby name node, and the failover controller. So journal nodes are master 1, master 2, master 3. So if you go to any one of the host and under slash DFS, so we have got one new directory called journal, and if you just list that, you can see that name service ID and go to the current, so you can see the same set of edit files. Okay, so basically it's just an edit files that is copied into so this location. So the same location slash DFS journal. Okay, I don't have the permission, so let me switch to root DFS and current. So you can see all these files. So whatever the edit in progress will be written here, the same 85. So 385. So if I go to slash DFS name, I think yeah, say 6385. So 6385. So the same edit file, the basically it's just an edit file, so that will be updated to this journal nodes. So how many number of journal nodes we have? All these files will be pushed to there. Actually the writing is done by the active one, and the standby will read that journal file and update into its memory. And the secondary standby name node will helps to do the checkpoint also. Then failover controller, so these are the part of, and this will be running on the standby and active name node, and this is part of Zookeeper failover controller. Let's see what happen if I shut down. Okay, let me manually stop this active name node. Okay, just let's stop this, and if I do that, okay, so hdfs dfs -ls slash, so this is working. So not this command, I think I can use df-h. Okay, so let's so can did you guys experience any issues? I mean, the screen was not, it was the screen not visible.
Not for me.
Sorry.
Not for me.
Okay. Okay, you were able to see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. 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 So I just, what I did is I just stopped one of the name node service, the active one, which was running, and I just stopped that service. Okay. So this one, what I did is I just hit here and stop this service. Then the second one, the standby automatically changed to active state. Okay. So the active state, and also whatever the command you execute, like hdfs dfs -ls user. So this is working. Even if your active one goes down, then the standby automatically change to active one. So again, if I just change this stop to starting state, so that will start, but that will be changed to standby mode.
Sajesh, what happened if that node goes down physically?
No, that is the same thing, because we cannot simulate that thing at this time. So technically, if that node goes down, so definitely the standby will change to active state.
Yeah, because what happens at general node, where exactly name node is writing to those files, yeah, that daemons
Yeah.
that's also running on the same node. You see what I mean? And ZF
Uh,
running on same node as well. Hence,
yes, we have three journal nodes. Okay.
yeah.
So if one goes down, still we have the availability from the other two.
So that reason I'm saying
Hmm.
that this is where majority of rule will kick in. You see where I'm coming from?
Hmm.
Because that
Yes.
one will go down.
Yeah, one
But
will go down. This
yeah,
still we have two available. With that two, it will work. So
yeah,
for some time it will work. Definitely, if that server is down, then so we have the availability from the other standby. But uh, so again, so we need to we will get some time to recover. So by that time, so this standby will continue.
yeah. Okay.
In real time, users are experiencing any issues when, say, when the active is down, like Sajesh?
No, the user should not feel any issues. That is why we are implementing high availability solution. So this
Okay,
is just
they're
this
not
is
going.
real time only. Okay, so we have the just same set of environment. Okay, so even though we have done it in the lab with our own, this is just a real time scenario only. So the cluster one we are operating is just a real time everything with the. Uh, I mean, so whatever the even if you have it in your on premise, so only thing is the server we deployed in AWS or somewhere else. So instead of that, the server may be organizations on data center. Other than that, so this is the same. Like if the server goes down, so they will not feel any different. They should not
Okay,
feel like if they're
the
feeling,
job
then
should
high
not fail.
availability.
Okay,
Yeah, job also nothing will happen because again, the job case is something different. That is from the different thing, but the job failure due to HDFS won't happen. So job means that was
okay.
yarn
And
component. If you have something.
can we set any alert message from the Cloudera manager whenever the name node fails, something like? Can we set in that?
Yes, yes, definitely alerting is there. So alert email also we can configure. And so for configuring email, I think from the Cloudera manager. So if you go to settings, so I think somewhere we have not external authentication.
Was it alerts in admin?
There is an yeah alert normally. So okay, so I will show you
Monitoring
what
ID.
happened. Yeah, from the Cloudera manager we have that option. Okay, so if the service is down, then we will have that issue reported here, and there is an option, additional options like email alerting. So for each and everything, we can have that. So we can configure set of email to. Uh, I mean, if send mail service or mail is email is service is configured. So I think alert, not from the alert. So this is alert. Okay, so recipient, I think we can change from here also. Yeah. So this is from the Cloudera management service configuration. So here, I think, let me, 1 second. I think from here, configuration, just search email. Yeah. So this is the option. Actually, this comes from the Cloudera management service. So what you have to do is go to the Cloudera management service, then go to the configuration and
Can you show?
search.
Can you show where the Cloudera management service in the Cloudera manager?
Yeah, okay. So
Something great.
from here, go to Cloudera configuration. I think your internet is maybe you can you see the screen properly?
Yeah, I can see
I
the screen, but slowly I'm getting. I mean,
What about others? So that they are also
okay, 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 Sajesh, go ahead, go ahead. I will watch video later. You upload it, right? No problem. No
okay.
problem, no problem. You continue, continue. I don't want to waste your time.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So maybe something network related issue. Okay, so here you just search email, and we have option like SMTP, SMTPS, and from address and to address we can write here. So normally we will have an email distribution list that we can write here, and based on the alert, so that email will be triggered. Okay. So normally in an organization, so there will be a separate distribution group or distribution ID. So that, like, say for example, HadoopAdmin at xyz.com. So that will resolve into multiple people. So here also you can see this is changed to amper state. Okay, the people can monitor from the Cloudera manager. So other than email, so just hit that, and here you can see. So not find standby. Okay, so that is the issue. So then you hit here, you can see. So this is not running, and we can just turn it on. So even if it's down, so still we have that service available. So this will be run, I mean, with the help of any one of the active. So this name service ID will be resolved to any one of the active HDFS or active name node host. And also there are certain commands you
We
can
need to
just use.
bring back. We need to bring back the service again once the standby is ready. Like,
Yes.
oh, manually we need to bring back. Okay.
Yeah, we manually stopped the service. That is the reason. Like if you manually stop, definitely you have to. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
okay, so there is a command called HDFS HAadmin. Failover HAadmin name service. Check health. Okay, so these are the different various options available. So get all. I don't usage -ns name service ID HDFS. Get HDFS HAadmin get service state, and what is the short name we have used, we can get from here. So just use name. Maybe they were using NN1 NN2 name. So just search with the NN1. Else download the client configuration. Once this is downloaded, so you will have that list of file, HDFS site, core site, etc. So just open that directory. So this is the HDFS site. So you can just open this file and see dfs.name service. You can see. So this file contain all the details. So HDFS ID and other details. So I think yeah. Name node 89 and name node 60. Okay, so these are the two names that they use here. Okay, so HA name nodes name service HA, so that is resolved to two names. So randomly they have taken this name. So name node 60 and name node 80. So we will just copy that, and from here get service name node 60, that is active, and the name node 89. See, from the for the command line to use, so there are two ID that they are used. So this is HDFS site XML. So you can go to either from the Cloudera manager or from the /var run Cloudera SCM process. You will get this file, and then you just search for HDFS. I think this parameter we can get from here also. Go to the configuration, then search with this one HDFS HA. I don't know why this is not displaying here. Okay, but here it's displaying in this file. So this is the two short name for, okay, so name service HA, we have got two server, master 1 and master 2. So this is master 1 is 60 and master 2 is 89. So we can just check the status HDFS DFS HA admin get service state. So master 1 is active. So if I go to the instances, I can see master 1 is active and master 2 is standby. So I can switch HDFS HA admin. I think transition to active, get service state. Okay, so let me just try this failover. Then first one is active. I should use the active one first, and then stand. Which one I am just changing to active. So let me try this. So 60 is the master one. So which was 60 was active at that time, and master to standby. So just I did this failover command. Okay, so this one active and this one standby at that time. What I'm just using is asking to do a failover so that this become standby and this become active. So this is saying the failover to name node is successful. Now if you come here and refresh, so master 2 will become active. See, master 2 has become active and master 1 becomes standby. Just switch over. Okay, so the failover we can do and post to the failover. So this 60, it was active earlier. So now this will get into standby, and this was standby earlier. Now this changed to active. Okay, so this is how we can switch over from active to standby. So we can make use of this command HDFS HA admin, and whatever these are some of the options that this provides. So transition to active, transition to standby, failover, get service state, then check health, etc. So we will just see check health and name node 60. Nothing is showing. Check 89. And also not showing any values. So get service state and transition to active and transition to standby. So we just did using this failover command. Okay. So whatever the things happens, so we will have the service available. So this is how the name node high availability works. Now we will just go to this yarn. So here we have a single resource manager, okay, which is active state. So but this resource manager goes down, then our job will fail. So we have option to enable availability here. So we can add additional resource manager also. Okay. So that is a resource manager yarn HA. So we will do that in the later. And here Hive also, if you just hit into Hive, so Hive server, Hive Metastore. So these are the two core components. So Hive server and Hive Metastore server also support high availability. So if you look into the high availability, so we have this much options available. So HDFS we can have, then yarn we can have, Hive also we can have. Okay. So any other questions? Okay. So what common issues for HA? So HA, like I said, if your the Zookeeper goes down, okay. Let me just turn off the Zookeeper and see what happened. See if the Zookeeper goes down, then uh, this there may be chance like automated failover won't happen. So now I just turned off the Zookeeper, but again that is very rare case. So if you just see the HDFS, you can see one is active and one is standby. Just do just check HDFS DFS -ls/user and see you have something. Yeah, we are able to get that. What I'm going to do is I'm just stopping this active one. Okay, so this is stopped. Now if you just hit this, this is not working, right? So we are not able to execute any command. So in that case, what we have to do is, so we have to manually switch to active state. Okay. So which one, 89 or 60? Which one we have? So we have the 60, which is in standby. So in that time, what we have to use here is HDFS HAdmin. Sorry, I need to use. There is an option like transition to active. Okay. So HDFS HAdmin transition to active, and what is the instance ID? So for name node 1. Okay. So if you just, even if you keep refresh, it won't work. So this is still in standby state. So you can manually switch into active state for this 6. So okay, so so by default automated failover is enabled, but if you manually switch, there is a chance like split brain scenario. Split brain scenario is something like both will be inactive, but still we are okay with that. So forcefully we want to do that. Just use this option, force active. Oops, what is this? Really sure the please specify the force one. Okay, so if I use a force active, it should work. Transition to active. Okay. This is also not working. Mm, so I don't know. This is, I tried this some time back, this option. Let's search. Okay, transition to active. Okay, so let's try this option, HDFS, HAdmin, failover, then force active. So this is auto failover enable. Okay, so if automatic failover enable in the cluster, then trigger the failover from the environment. Do not restart active. Okay, so let's just check either anything we can do. Disable that automatic failover. Okay, so I think this is the option. So enable automatic failover. Just save that. We will see, and then save this change. Then we will see the services are changed and it's require a redeploy. Let's see whether this option is working. Restart and redeploy. Okay, so this is done. So failover controller is down. Now I think transition to active. So HDFS, HAdmin transition to active, and this one. So if I just check here, so instances. Okay, so let me stop this service again, because yeah, because we did a restart after changing. So what I did is just automatic failover enable just change to disable. So now we have a standby only. Since the failover controller and Zookeeper are down, so this won't automatically switch to standby. And just let's try using this command. So transition to active. So this is working without any issue. So now if you just refresh or just execute any HDFS command, HDFS DFS ls slash, it should work. Yeah, I think I don't know what this error is. Okay, so master 2 is failed, and but still it's getting the result from here. Oops. Yeah, so now this is changed to active, you can see, because we forcefully executed that command and changed that into active state, but still we are getting some error. The reason it's still somewhere it's trying to connect to this. So if I use HDFS DFS -ls HDFS : // so master1 dot hadoop.com 8020 then /user, then it should not show that error, right? So we have the name service available and running with the master one. So this one we did manually, because even if I just uh, now we just disable automatic failover. So that is the reason, even again if I start this one, sometimes this may be in active state, and there may be the chances like a split brain scenario. So both should be active at the time. So these are the steps you need to make sure, like, so when the Zookeeper is down and no way you can recover that Zookeeper, so you have option to do in a manual switchover way.
Rajesh, why that error is coming? For what step is we are failed? The error we are getting. Can you show that putty screen?
Yeah. No. This is what I told, right? So this is trying to connect to master 2. So master 2 is actually down. Okay, so we don't have the master 2. So that is the reason. So master 1 only in active state.
80204 port is for HDFS port.
Yes. So we are accessing HDFS directly only here. Like,
Yeah.
so HDFS. Then
These are all day-to-day scenario, like in real time also.
never. You cannot expect this kind of things. A very rare chance. Day to day, if this happened, then they will not use this, because this is very rare exceptional case. Okay, so the 1B, I mean, it won't happen normally. So I'm just enabling that so that it will automatically. But the thing is, like, so if this happened, then how to recover? That is a question normally in interview, and all people will ask. Okay, just redeploy. So whatever the failed configuration, we can just redeploy the configuration so that it will redeploy and restart the services. Okay, so any other questions? But if this happened, then we have these options available to manual switch over and get that file. Okay. So if everyone is good, then let's wind up for now, and we'll continue next week. Okay.
Thank you, Shirish.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thank
So
you.
when you get some time, so please practice these things. At least try to reach until this high availability, because a lot of things we need to cover. Okay. So once you have that understanding basic things, then we can easily move. So please try to get some time and do the installation. At least even a single node is also
Sure.
fine. Okay.
I'm going
So
to do this
do
week.
that.
Needed
Yeah.
take your help or
Yeah, you can just post your queries in that group, or you can email to me. So because the people will be around and will help you, because some of the people already tried,
yes,
and
yes.
you can get the help from the community or in that chat.
Thank
Okay, so do that. Okay, whatever. If you have anything issues, it's not progressing or something, you just ping me. I'll also try to help you. But the practicing is very important, because otherwise there is no much use.
Yep.
So do that, and do it multiple times. Again, if you do practice, then definitely our memory, it won't last there for a long time. So multiple practice is required. So do it multiple times. So maybe, and then it will be there in our memory. Okay. So we'll meet next week then.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.